Huskymania. You gotta love it.
And the Huskies will have exactly 1 second remaining in this ball game to try and pull off a miracle. Just 1 second left. Burrell takes the ball, looking inbound, loops it far up court for George, who catches it, turns around, shoots, and he got it! He hit it! He hit the shot! And the Huskies have won it! The Huskies have won it! George hits the shot on the right side of the lane! And UConn wins it 71-70! Here we go!
There were some things about the team that I felt were positive. I thought we seemed to have, even from day one, from the first time we ran to school, the kids did their actual running program into the strength training program, just some ideas of a commitment. You could feel it, you could sense it. I had no idea of how much was to come, but you knew there was something a little bit different.
Straight from the summer, you know, we went to camp together down in Sulington, and we really had a goal.
Quickly, Tate George, coast to coast, 2, count it.
Well, I knew they play hard every day because that's all the coach wants.
Spins away from Buchanan. Good luck. Finds Burrell. Got it for foul.
As soon as I just came here and I started practice, even in the first practices here, I felt there's something different. You know, it's so intense. You know, we just play so hard every game.
And a great steal by Hennefeld.
Oh my goodness.
It's what I like about UConn.
I worked it out in the spring, actually, and said that both Steve and Tate, the two oldest players by the number of minutes played in games, would be the two guys. I really felt that Tate had always shown great leadership ability. That was one thing he came with. Steve had the same thing.
Well, first of all, Steve and myself, during the summer, when Coach did make the decision, we sat down and wrote a lot of things out that we felt were important to the team, especially a young team. Respect each other. No one's better than the next guy.
I just wanted to push them as much, you know, as they could because, you know, being so young, Scott Burrell, a freshman, and the Dove, his first year, they've never experienced, you know, anything like that they were going to experience in the Big East. And I just felt through my leadership and through always being the first one at practice and the last one to leave and, you know, always verbally, you know, telling guys what I think should be done. I think they respected my role because I worked so hard in practice and they respected my knowledge.
The best thing I think about myself and Steve was that we exchanged roles. A lot of times they consider me the mean captain and Steve the nice guy, and off the court he seemed to have changed as far as I really didn't say much and he would jump on everyone's case, so it gave them an equal medium. No one really knew where we were coming from, but yet we were successful.
I think we won a lot because nobody really had an ego, nobody really cared about who was in the paper and stuff like that.
They're creators and they're clutch performers.
George finds Smith. Smith's got a step. Got 2 and a foul.
I told him, I said, Smitty, you were on the all-freshman team. Tate, you have never been made one of the first 3 teams all-league, so on, right down the line. And the way that we will be good, and the way we'll be honored, and the way you'll all get your personal recognitions, if we do well, then the eyes will be all taken care of.
Near turnover, and it is. Great save by Tate George there. Up ahead, Smith missed the layup. Strong rebound, Murray Williams up and in, and credit Murray Williams with a real heads-up follow and pass on that play.
We don't try to be stars. No one tries to be a star out there. We just go out there and do our job. And playing 10 men, that's how you do it, and that's the way we like it, and that's the way we win.
Steal at half court. Burrell saves it. Hennefeld's got it. Oh, good luck. Spots win.
If you take one person out of what we had as far as a non-star team and put a star on our team, we probably wouldn't win a lot of games, as many games as we won.
All but Taylor. That was partially blocked by Hennefeld. Here comes Burrell. Up to Hennefeld. Good look for Smith.
Tate wanted to prove that he was more than what people had said he was. Rod Sellers really wanted to emerge out of the shadow of Cliff Robinson. Chris wanted to show people he was the great player that came in from the state of Connecticut. And there were a lot of kids in the program that you could feel really had a mission and purpose. Danny Cerulik wanted to get playing time. And there were those kids within the program that gave us a solid nucleus of good basketball players who had an idea, after winning the NIT, most of them as freshmen, had an idea of how to get it done.
It's what I like about you, come.
Every time I watch a tape or somebody's with me watching the tape, they always say, you know, they always talk about defense because it's that doggy-down defense that Georgetown used to have a couple years ago, you know. And a lot of teams really don't play that doggy-down defense, and it's fun to watch.
Taylor tracks down the rebound and gets stripped by Smith. That was a big-time steal right there.
I think our game was based on defense.
And there's Hennefeld again.
We had our offense, but our game was more based on defense.
And the Dove Hennefeld just took it away from Conlon. Up to Burrell.
It was based on pressure on the other team, let them do their mistakes, and just get our advantage from them for their mistakes. So just steal the ball, make easy baskets. You know.
Picked off by Hennefeld.
You know, make fast breaks, 2-on-1, 3-on-2, and that's the way we got our points.
And it gets the crowd back in the game. Steal by Hennefeld. Oh, my!
We really, truly, I think, understood that we could win any game if we were able to control from the defensive end. And once again, it fed on itself. The self-belief became, to us, a truth. I mean, we really believed that we could do it in a particular given game, and obviously we did.
Welcome, everybody, to the Hartford Civic Center here in Hartford, Connecticut, where the largest crowd ever to see a college basketball game in New England has turned out for the number 5 Orangemen and the Connecticut Huskies. It should be an up and down game. Johnson coming on the ball inside Coleman first time. Blocked from behind by Murray Williams. Ahead to Smith. The loop pass to Coleman. He puts it on the floor. Lost it on the way up. Smith on a wing. Over Thompson. Count it and a foul. Wow.
See, of course, this is just gorgeous basketball. Look at it. Deft look away to the left. Cerulik with the good eye, hand coordination.
Cerulik hesitated a little before he went there, didn't he?
He said, wait a second. Maybe they wouldn't have done this last year.
Smith launches one. Hits it for 3. 11 for Chris Smith. 30-14 Connecticut. George goes the other way. Turns in the lane. Tries to throw one up. Got it. And a foul. Ooh. Make it up as you go along. Take.
Oh, that's the Ian horse.
Owens misses outside. Hennefeld just kind of throws it up ahead of the field. George Lyman the Priest. He deserves that. He's worked hard tonight.
And so does George.
Jim Calhoun and his Connecticut Huskies have won 4 straight Big East games. They are now 14-3. And on Saturday night, the Georgetown Hoyas will come to Hartford.
The Syracuse games really probably told us that there was nobody in the league, unless they played real well, could beat us.
The undefeated and perhaps number 1 ranked Georgetown Hoyas are in town, set to take on the Connecticut Huskies. And why is Connecticut so crazy about this team? Well, they're 4-2 in the Big East. They've won 4 in a row and are off to their best start since the 81-82 season. Quickly, Clark, you've been there not only as a player but as a commentator now. When you're in an opposition building like this, the first 5 minutes are big.
Very key for both clubs. Connecticut would like to jumpstart. Georgetown would like to stifle any momentum they've had from those 4 wins. A quick start by Connecticut could lead to a tight game tonight.
Long jumper. Smith for 3. 8-0 Connecticut. Ronnie Thompson, and he traveled. And who was right there but Hennefeld?
Well, again, looking at this game, coming into this game, I thought that Connecticut would have to get off to the quick start, disrupt the Hoyas' backcourt, and shoot the ball a little better from the perimeter. So far, those things have been what they've done.
Edward George jumps out on Smith. They find George. Back rims it. Sellers an offensive board. Smith wants it. Got it outside. It's 10-0. It's 12-0. And Georgetown wants time. Wow. Murray Williams dumps it out. Hennefeld knocks home a three. Hennefeld hits a three. Hello. The Connecticut Huskies have never beaten a team ranked as high as Georgetown is. Jefferson finds Tillman. Misses a three. Smith, a big rebound. Hennefeld is fouled in the backcourt. And they are going bananas here at the Hartford Civic Center. I mean bananas. Steal by Smith. That kind of sums up the evening, doesn't it?
Certainly does.
No bigger win in Connecticut history than this one.
Ladies and gentlemen, good evening and welcome to the Harry A. Gamble Pavilion and the return of Big East basketball to the University of Connecticut campus.
Our first game here against St. John's, and I never heard as much noise here in the Dome against St. John's than I have in my life.
Minute 25, first half. Harvey's lean or no. Underneath Cerulic. Up to Smith. He's had the hot hand. Alley-oop ball. Rebound to Smith. He's got time. Got it at the buzzer.
Oh, Chris Smith. What a hot hand he's had riding it in, putting the Huskies up by a point, Mike.
15 for Smith in the first half. And they like their new building here. Cerulic, another rebound. A tough follow-up. Goes down.
Oh, when you've got it going, you've got it going.
Tipped away. Cerulic, a great play.
What hustle with the left hand, he tips it back.
Gwen again comes up shooting.
Danny Cerulic, give him credit there for the possession.
Seeley, another follow.
Oh, it's a war in there right now.
Singleton tries. Rebound to Priest. Outlet to Burrell. Bounce pass, Gwynn. He wants it. He got it. The foul.
Oh!
The Connecticut Huskies are in first place in the Big East Conference, and they have found a home.
What I like about you come.
This is the biggest jump from one year to the next in Big East Conference history, as Connecticut will go to 25-5 with this victory tonight.
And you could see the look on the kid's face that we were going to get that regular season title tie with Syracuse, and the co-champs was going to be part of a Connecticut name, and I could feel it during the game building. And as we walked off the floor, that was the night we celebrated. I think of all nights, I think that was the night that the locker room was wild. Howie Dickerman, our assistant coach, I mean, I could still see him out in the car, saying champs, champs, and his Howie, who is not normally one to do this, he just kept saying we're the champs. This is where we can show our mark. This is where we can tell people what they've been hearing about Connecticut, because we've still been playing in the background. We haven't playing quite on, we're a little bit off Broadway in many ways, and it wasn't quite on Broadway yet. That we can show people we're a good basketball team. So I knew it was an important weekend. I think more so than the kids did, thank God. They weren't nervous.
Everybody thought Syracuse was going to win on Georgetown, but we just knew we can beat those two teams, and we knew we can go out there. If we went out there and played hard, we can come out on top.
They will be all over the Hoyas. This is how Calhoun made his reputation as a coach.
The one thing that we had to realize was that they were very beatable for our style of play.
On the attack is Tillman, and it's stripped away from him by Burrell. Freshman keeps it. Here's Smith's three, and it's a 5-2 Husky lead. On the steal, Smith comes back. He has George on his right. Rolls it in, and that's 3 steals and 5 turnovers by the Hoyas against this fabulous Connecticut defense. Burrell with a 3 from the corner is off iron, and there's NFL coming through. Cyrillic takes it away from Mutombo.
Nice
good
passing.
NFL inside. Beautiful touch by John Gwynn.
You talk about valuable minutes. Walker has done a sensational job in about the 8 or so minutes he's played in this game.
Here he comes. Beautifully stepped in aggressively, improved his shooting distance. Huskymania, you gotta love it. The 3 for John Gwynn. That's it. NFL rejects it. Here comes Smith. And he'll come up to the line. Score the field goal. Connecticut will put away Georgetown today. Back at Madison Square Garden in New York City, Big East championship game, matching the top seed Syracuse against the number 2 seed Connecticut. Jim Calhoun in his 4th year at UConn, a remarkable turnaround.
And finally getting a chance to show everyone on national television that we not only had a quality team and a quality coaching staff, but yet we deserve to be where we were.
George. Jump pass and open, but got away from Coleman, and Walker scored.
Unbelievable, you know, when they look back maybe 10 years from now, talk about 9 years, talk about the 20-year history, and you have to about the Big East tournament and talk about a guy who came and showed up kind of, in many ways, out of nowhere, to have both John Thompson and Jim Boeheim said may have been the difference in our games, both games, to help Connecticut win a championship.
Here's Walker. The game is tied at the 5:47 mark. After being down by 10 early, the Huskies have battled back into it. Smith with a great dribble. Oh, wow.
That was against Stevie Thompson, one of the best defenders in the country at his size. Jim Calhoun was right. This young man's going to be the best guard in the league next year.
I mean, Smitty played well every day, every night we played, and he deserved the MVP. But John won the game.
Connecticut went over the limit early in the first half. About 8 minutes to go, they were shooting. He's got the 3. A chance for a 4-pointer. Gwynn was fouled by Thompson, his 4th.
Stevie can't believe it. And what Gwynn is doing, Brent, his follow-through is so perfect on this jump shot. Young players, watch his wrist on that shot. Sensational follow-through.
John Gwynn is like the genie let out of the bottle. I mean, you pop him out, he appears on the scene, makes shots, and plays with a tremendous amount of enthusiasm and gusto for the game that if it doesn't rub off on you, it's going to rub off on the fans and everybody else. And he just excites the gymnasium when he's in there.
There's Syracuse picking up their defense. Well, the first half it was Walker, and the second half it's been Gwynn.
It was on CBS and everything, and I'd have felt good that weekend.
Everybody got to know John Gwynn.
Yeah, he did. I felt good that weekend.
Coach Calhoun had a a great comment about this Connecticut team a few weeks ago. Looking back at the whole season, the coach said, this team has gone from peach fuzz to stubble. We got whiskers on our chin. And pretty soon, Jim Calhoun and these Huskies could have a championship on their belt.
And Brent, I like the last thing that he wrote on the blackboard yesterday after all his instruction. Believe in us. Some line. He feels it now.
This is better than crossing the finish line at the Boston Marathon for Jim Calhoun.
They cannot lose now because Syracuse cannot call another timeout even after the basket. It's over. They don't have to take the ball out of bounds.
And it's over. UConn, in an amazing turnaround, captures the Big East tournament. Let the celebration begin.
Oh, that was a great thing. You know, Patrick Ewing's named MVP and players like that. And I was just fortunate as a sophomore to be named MVP. I think it was a great thing, and just fortunate to be one of the players to get that award.
I just think that was just the best moment for the school, and people have been waiting a long time in Connecticut, and people have worked really hard, and fans have supported us loyally for years and years, and it just gave back to them, you know, something that they deserved.
In a season of highlights, it was a highlight. We did it amongst friends and with friends, and those are the best kind to be, the guys that you have tremendous respect for. And I think once again to go Georgetown, Syracuse in the last 24 hours, whatever it may be, that told me everything I need to know about our basketball team. And I said, whatever we do from here on is pure gravy. And I mean that very sincerely. That to me was the high of the season.
Here in Hartford, Connecticut, it's NCAA tournament action. The Boston University Terriers, the champions of the North Atlantic Conference, are set to take on the Big East champions and the #1 seed in this region, the Connecticut Huskies, getting an unusual home game of sorts here in Hartford.
In the #1 seed position in Hartford, so we got there. Everybody thought it being a positive, but in many ways, a little more pressure was placed upon us. Our hometown fans expected as a #1 seed you to beat 16.
Sellers jumps out momentarily. Key trying to lay it down. Couple of fakes for Davey. Count the bucket and a foul.
This is exactly what can happen if you let the underdog team get it going. If you let them off the hook. And that's what Connecticut did early in this game. And right now, good up fakes as Sella finally gives way. Fred Davey knocks it down. BU, all kinds of confidence.
It was one of probably looser timeouts, and we almost started laughing at each other. Like, fellas, you know, what are we doing to this great season? You know, this isn't supposed to be happening. Let's just relax and play basketball. We go back out, we steal the ball, and then we have a 21-0 run.
Key. Moses couldn't handle the pass. George with 3 Terriers chasing him. Smith will fire. Hits outside.
There he is.
Back door.
Beautiful play by Connecticut. Chris Smith just able to go right by people.
NFL, little runner, won't go. Tap does.
Oh, the dome.
Huskies by 7 in the ball. Smith for 3.
Oh, Connecticut's got all cylinders going right now. And Mike Jarvis says again, we got to try to slow this Husky machine down.
8 second-half points for Hennefeld in the midst of this 14-1 run, and another steal. Hennefeld got it again.
Oh, Nadav Hennefeld. UConn, we haven't seen this as much this year where they've made it so difficult just to get the entry pass in bounds.
Steal. Smith to Hennefeld. Count it and a foul.
Vintage basketball right there by UConn.
The Priest jumps in for the steal. Lyman the exclamation point. But Jim Calhoun
has taken his Huskies to the round of 32.
We jumped on California really early. One of the motivational factors was they talked all about the Oregon press being so much better than our press. We used that a little bit, obviously.
UConn uses the whole floor because of Hennefeld. Good spacing, and they kick it.
Chris Smith. And the sophomore from Bridgeport with the three. Connecticut on top by one. Full court press. Sellers with the steal. Tate George. Steal again. This is Hennefeld. His first of the game.
Reads the passing lanes beautifully.
Smith. Hennefeld kept it alive. George, the benefactor. And Billy, this press just nags you. After a while, it frustrates you, and you start throwing little passes like that.
Exactly. They never stop.
And Connecticut comes up with their sixth, forcing the sixth turnover. Burrell.
High-low fill. Great ball movement.
Smith for three. George. Rebounded. Walker strong. And Connecticut moves on to the round of 16.
Now Cliff Ellis and his upstarts from the ACC face their boldest challenge yet as they confront the Huskies of Connecticut, the new young power in the Big East, who defied all preseason odds by capturing their conference championship. And with textbook efficiency, they have steamrolled through the tournament's early rounds, serving notice that their dream season might be far from over. There's an offensive rebound by DePriest. Sellers and Gwynn. There's Gwynn again. And there it is. Great hustle by John Gwynn. Once again, it's John Gwynn with 9 points. And the UConn bench has outscored Clemson 17-5. Tate George is able to get inside for layups in the first half. Chris Smith hits another three-point basket. That's his third of the game, and he's got 16. They give Smith the open shot. The basket is good. And a foul, a three-point shot could turn into a four-point play.
And the lead came so easy. We're up by 19 without really having to do what Connecticut had done well all year. And just as it came easy, it went easy.
And here's David Young with a three-point basket. And Clemson leads by one. And Connecticut will call a timeout. Tate George with the ball. Tate George fakes at the top of the key, goes up with it. It's short. Knocked around. Rebound. Tyson of Clemson with 1 second and a foul against Burrell. And Clemson can wrap it up on the line.
There's maybe in many senses a tremendous letdown as the kids come over to the bench.
When we came to the bench, I guess the only guy who really believed was Coach.
You can win this thing. You're going to win this thing. There's no way we're coming out of this thing without a win.
Our coach had a lot of faith. He thought the game was over yet. We still have 1 second, he kept saying. Myself, I thought the game was over myself.
It's our game. All we have to do is get the ball, either Tate or John on the sprint pattern. We'll be just fine.
He just kept telling us there's a lot of time left and we can win this game, and he really believed that.
We'll be just fine. He kept saying it, and I repeated that.
And he diagrammed the play that probably will go down in history.
The play was really supposed to go to me, but Scott and Tate had other things on their mind.
I kind of told Scotty that if he didn't throw it, that we wouldn't be friends for a while. Because a lot of people forget that I missed that shot earlier from the top of the key, which I've been working on all year, and I kind of felt that I not only had to redeem myself, but I mean, I'm the only senior, so at least let me take the last shot.
And the Huskies will have exactly 1 second remaining in this ball game to try and pull off a miracle. Just 1 second left. Burrell takes the ball, looking inbound, loops it far up court for George, who catches it, turns around, shoots, and he got it! He hit it! He hit the shot! And the Huskies have won it! The Huskies have won it! George hits the shot from the right side of the lane! And UConn
I threw it hard, and I thought it was a little too far, but then I saw Tate go underneath, and he caught it cleanly.
When I saw that shot, it was just something that, it was fate.
I think that was the highest I've ever jumped. Never mind being young, older, and different. I think I got 6 feet off the ground when that ball went in. But it's funny, I never believed we'd lose.
This is the Meadowlands Arena in East Rutherford, New Jersey. And this afternoon, the Eastern Regional Final matches the Duke Blue Devils, 3rd seed out of the Atlantic Coast Conference, against the top-seeded Connecticut Huskies.
Now you're UConn. You understand that you're down 3. If he misses, you must advance quickly. All right, if the 3 is there, you take it. Okay? You have 1 timeout left.
And he misses, and the rebound by Chris Smith, and so Connecticut only needs a 2 to tie it up. And a 3-point attempt, yes, is by Chris Smith. And Duke down by 1. You've got to push. Time running out. Here comes Hurley. George got a hand on it, and it's Duke ball.
I happen to be standing right on the sidelines, up, probably out of the coaching box. As Tate intercepts the ball, he's taking a step towards me, and he's going to dribble right to Denver. And I can still see Tate now with the ball in his hands. And the ball could have fallen to the left, which would have been inbounds, and the clock would have run off in those 2 seconds. Instead, it fell to the right out of bounds. And so that's what I'd probably remember much more than the shot.
We just sat and we looked at each other, and when Coach came in, he didn't have to say anything. I think everybody remembers, you know, the sentence that he said about, you know, about us.
Well, what'd you say to the kids after the game?
I told them the exact truth. That I've worked 23 years as a coach since I got out of college, and my dream has been to coach in the Final Four someday. And I want to do that, and I think I will someday. But I'll tell you what, I wouldn't trade 100 Final Fours for the privilege of coaching this basketball team.
So it was a long bus ride back, and it was really sad. And I said, geez, you know, a great year like this has to come to an end like that. And if we were to come home and no one would have been here.
And, you know, when we came into stores and the policeman escorted us out, and I was like, why they escorting us out? You know, I don't think anybody's going to be out here.
I guess we really realized when we came up the hill, past the field house, and we saw the people waiting with signs that it was a special season.
In the dome, it was like almost like, you know, sold out, but, you know.
And as we come up this hill, and to see almost 7,000 people waiting for us, as I said to the fans at that point in time, what we needed wasn't necessarily praise nor anybody to analyze. We just needed some hugs because we had been hurt. They, in turn, just wanted to hug us.
To all of you, that this season with our basketball team has been very special. And I want you to know that every one of you have helped make it very special for us. You're a big part of all of us. And lastly, before I bring Tate and Steve on, just one thing. This afternoon, about 5 or 6 hours ago, after such a great year, we started to have our hearts broken. And we honestly, God, never expected this. And by you coming out here, coming out here, You've mended those broken hearts, and you've put a place that we'll remember the rest of our lives. Thanks all.
We can make it all the way to the Final Four next year.
I hope you do too, John.
Yeah, I really do.
More than me, right?
I think the main word here is big, because everything around is so big, the media and the people and all the big thing that just we have around basketball here.
The total package, I don't think we're going to ever recapture, nor will we try to, because it's the first thing, it's the first time for our university, for our state, for a lot of people. That's always the best time.